Welcome, guys, to Black Girl from Brick City. I'm your host, Ace with the Y, and I'm super excited to be speaking with you guys this week. Woo! This week we have a special guest, my good sis, Monica. Everybody give her ghetto hand snaps. Ghetto snaps. I think we went through a mutual friend. We were
Mhm.
singing in church together. And
Mhm.
she has just been doing amazing things. Anytime I have like a question, I just hit her up real quick and she always
Mhm.
gives me the best responses. So, Monica, I want you to introduce yourself to the listeners of Black Girl from Brick City.
Hey everybody. My name is Monica Soyemi. I am a real estate investor, a realtor here in New York, definitely a singer as well. And I got bit by the real estate bug like 2 or 3 years ago and have been nonstop ever since.
I love when you say you got bit by that bug because, girl, I think I got bit by the bug as well. It was so random. What actually sparked your interest in real estate, though? Like, what was the bug?
The bug was before real estate, I was doing full-time performing arts, right? Like I was going on tour to different countries, performing with this ensemble, and we would go to China, Japan, all these great countries, perform. I would get my coin, and I would come back and be like, okay, the coin was great. Now, what's next? And so I was doing the 9 to 5 thing for a little bit. And I just realized that $15 an hour is never going to be enough. $20 an hour is never going to be enough. There's never enough time. So then that's when I started thinking of ways to create income that isn't necessarily attached to my time, attached to me doing an actual job. And that's when I found real estate. I did some research on ways to invest, quote unquote, passive income. And I learned about the value of real estate. And I bought my first house in 2019, put some tenants in
Congratulations,
there.
girl.
Thank you. Put some tenants in there, and it's been amazing. The concept of having a home, renting it out, having other people pay for your home, and not only that, the way that real estate has time and time again provided people the opportunity for generational wealth, for cash flow, for passive income. It is the number one tool or the number one asset class that has created millionaires in the country. Like this is a fact. People become millionaires through real estate. And so I was like, let's get it.
And I love that you said that people become millionaires because I don't think people understand house hacking. It sounds cool, but they don't really understand just how life changing it could be to just invest your money in a property and let it make money and let it generate for you. Like when I
And
found
sometimes
out, I was mind
mhm,
blown, girl.
I agree. I was mind blown as well. And something that people don't even really realize is some people think they need 20% down, 10% down. You can buy a house for as little as 3.5% down. And then there's also some home options that allow you to put no money down, like the NACA program. That's NACA. Check out the NACA program. It's all over the country. They will allow you to buy a home with no money down. Actually, they want you to have that money saved. And what you're going to use that money for instead is the ability to buy down your interest rate, but we're going to go further into interest rates. But there's
My
so
girl
much
is giving
more.
gems already, okay?
Listen, okay,
Gems
naka.org,
in her
okay?
intro, guys. So I hope you guys have a pen and paper. If you're really interested in real estate, you are about to get your mind blown. Before we get into the interesting and everything else, I wanna ask you, what is the typical day in the life of a real estate agent? So, like, what is your day to day typical job inquiries? What are you doing?
You know, um, the day to day as a real estate investor can be very fast paced. One of my favorite parts of the job is getting to be in beautiful homes all day, some not so beautiful homes, some days,
Real quick
but it is
prepper.
yes, but it's really you're showing clients, bedrooms, bathrooms, how many square footage. People are looking to move to places that are close to their family, their friends. But one thing that I realized is I would wake up at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. and just go. And so instead of that, I've created a new morning routine now that I think everyone should implement. And I read and I learned about it through this book called The Miracle Morning. And so this book, The Miracle Morning, really shifted how I see things. Everybody go check it out. It stands for savers. Savers are things that you do every day. So S stands for silence. You want to have at least 10 minutes of just pure silence, meditation, prayer every day. The A stands for affirmation. So every day I wake up, I say, I am a millionaire. I have a millionaire mind. I am powerful. Opportunities come to me freely and openly, I am the master of my own destiny, or I am leading myself into my own destiny. B stands for visualization. So we got a little vision board. We're looking at our goals. Airbnb's on there, Turo's on there, 10 homes this year is on there, apartment building,
Yes,
so you want to visualize what you want. E is exercise. We got to get it right, get it tight. R is reading, and S is scribing. So every day I've committed to doing at least 1 to 2. Hopefully I'll say some of these every day, and starting my day like that, it allows everyone to start in an optimal way. But as a real estate agent, I am answering calls. Like even right now, people are calling me, texting me. Tomorrow I go on showings. So someone might say, hey, Monica, I like this house. Can we go see it? So we'll go see the home, check out all the bedrooms, the bathroom, check out the kitchen, of course, the bathroom. We're going to look at the boiler room, which is where you're going to see the water heater. You're going to see the mechanicals of the building. We're going to look at the roof. Roofs can be very expensive, so we want to make sure that roof is in good condition. I am making offers on behalf of clients. Someone might see a home and be like, Monica, I like it. I want to make an offer at $500,000. I write up the offer, send it over to the other agent. They accept the offer. Now we're in contract. It's just a lot of following up with people, answering calls, showing homes. It's not an easy job, but when I tell you the shmane, okay, it's very profitable, and I'm really glad to be able to be doing it.
Yes, girl. Okay, so I love that book suggestion. What was the book title again? Just for
the book is called
Miracle
The
Morning.
Miracle Morning. Yeah,
and I love how we still, you're doing your day-to-day thing, you're doing real estate, you're traveling. I always see you travel, girl. I love seeing you and your sister and your mother travel. And I love how we still make time for the gym. Like that is very important.
Very. Listen,
Me and my girl be in the gym, y'all.
Seriously, okay. If you guys are not following Ace, you need to follow her right now on Instagram. I'm following Ace's story every day, and this girl has been putting in work. And to see your journey, to see how you shifted your mind and shifted your body, it's amazing, girl. You're Sister Snatch, okay? If you don't know, now you know, okay?
I came a long way, amen.
It feels good. And the beautiful thing about working out is that at first I was working out to be snatched. Like I wanted to be skinny. I was like, I want to have this look. But what I realized over time is exercise has become like almost a meditation for me now. It shifts your mindset. Yeah, like it shifts my mindset. Like I feel like if I can push through this workout and this last rep, I can push through my day. I can push through anything, your honestly, mental strength.
And you know what happens as well for me? I can be having like a very stressful day and I'll go to the gym and work out and I literally feel better. Like I didn't have to do anything like drink or go party. I literally go to the gym. I remember some people would be hitting me up in my DMs like, girl, go home. Like you're in the gym for like 3 hours.
You've been in there for 3 hours, sis. It's time to go. No, listen, it feels good. It's like even today I was a little stressed. I'm gonna talk about it later on in the podcast. A little spoiler alert. But I'm buying my second home now in Atlanta, and I'm using hard money for the first time. And hard money is definitely a more higher risk but higher profit way of buying a home. And I was on the flight today, just stomach jumbling, thinking about all the things that could go wrong. But I got a good workout in, and that workout can also like release some of your stress, because sometimes your stress isn't always connected to real things, and yeah. And being a boss is not an easy thing. It's not like everybody doesn't necessarily want to take on the risk or take on the hard things, but entrepreneurs, people who are about it, like you, like our listeners here, if you're about it, you make it happen, you go get it. We run to the hard things. We run to the scary things, and we're like, what's up? Let's go.
I actually love scary things. And I used to think it was a little weird, but now that I know, like it was meant to be, because not everybody has that type of tenacity to literally go and use hard money to go get a property. Girl, you are killing it. And I heard about that. Maybe we could get into that later as well. So I want to ask you told us about your day-to-days, like answering calls, being very professional. I'm sure your college skills kick in when you're speaking and following up. I would like to know, and the listeners, I'm sure they would like to know, like, what are 2 influencers or mentors that you had in order to get you through your real estate journey to get you to where you are now?
There are a lot of people on YouTube that I have been listening to for a long time. And the one podcast that I would be remiss if I didn't shout it out, was Bigger Pockets.
Yeah,
Bigger Pockets has changed the game for me, okay? When I tell you I will be driving, because as a realtor, you're doing a lot of driving here, driving there, driving to appointments. And in my car for maybe an hour at a time, here, going here and there, I would be listening to these podcasts, listening to people like you and I taking down deals, finding the money, finding the resources, buying homes with little to no money, like bad credit, just making it happen just through the will to make it happen. And like, so Bigger Pockets has been a huge one for me. I follow Ryan Pineda on YouTube. So I think he's a really great real estate investor. Chris Crone, he's another real estate investor. In terms of Black women, I follow Noelle Randall on YouTube. She's been really great in terms of real estate info.
Write these down, guys, because she's
Yes.
the mentors online that you can find as well.
Yeah. Female real estate guru. I follow her on Instagram. Her Own Home. Quick plug, Her Own Home is a Instagram that talks all about home buying for women of color, Black women. And they're actually doing a tour right now. So if you go to @Her Own Home right now, I'll be one of their guest speakers for an upcoming panel. And we're going to talk about how to get that first home, how to save up, how to get your credit right, because we are building wealth all 2022 and beyond. And one of the number one ways to do that is with real estate.
Yes. And I love that you said Bigger Podcast, because before you even told me, like, Ashley, you need to get into Bigger Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, I was binge listening to Bigger Podcast. It literally changed my entire life. That's where I learned about money making mustache or money mustache.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and when he was talking about how he don't even have a car, he was biking to work to save money for his properties, and how all they have all these budget people. It's not even just about real estate, guys. They do have a segment now which focuses straight on real estate. But like Bigger Money Podcast is like they're talking about budgeting, saving your money, getting out of debt. So if you guys are really trying to get into financial wealth and breaking generational curses when it comes to finances, you need to tap into Bigger Money Podcast. Because
Mm-hmm.
you will find yourself listening to it for like 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like, so that is a really good plug. Okay, sis, so what is one of your major goals? I see that you said that you were getting your first property in Atlanta, which is super exciting because my girl is in New York.
Yes.
So we're doing state to state transactions.
Listen, we are going a few miles. It was so crazy just because, like I said, I was doing a hard money deal for the first time, and I had to put an earnest money deposit down, $5,000. And I'm like, no, nobody wants to lose $5,000. So I'm like, I need to make sure I could lay eyes on this house, see what's going on. So 2 nights ago, booked a flight to ATL. Shout out to Frontier for that 150 round trip. Okay. And I got to see the house. And what's really powerful about this home is that it's in an up and coming neighborhood. The same way the Bronx was, the same way Harlem was before it got gentrified. There are areas in Atlanta that are the before of Harlem and the Bronx.
Atlanta is thriving.
It is thriving, but they're doing a lot of the city is changing very quickly right now. There is a little bit of gentrification, but there's just a shift in how the city's moving just because of all the people who've moved there since the pandemic. Mm-hmm. So, East Point, that's where I'm buying. That's a little plug there. Go cop a house in East Point right now, because I promise you in 2 years that $100,000 or $150,000 house is going to be worth like $300,000, $350,000 because of how it's shifting.
Mm-hmm. And most of those entrepreneurs out there are Black.
Yes,
just like us. They are killing Airbnbs. Mm-hmm. Even the written out foreign cars. They are killing
it.
I always wanted to move to Atlanta. The traffic I could do without. It reminds me literally of New York.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a little rude, yeah.
But a little. They don't use turn signals.
You know what? I didn't experience too much crazy traffic when I was there, but I'm gonna just knock on wood. I just haven't experienced it yet. But Lord, we don't need that. But when you're in the traffic, we're gonna listen to some podcasts like Brick City. Okay?
I love to do that as well. So I'm really excited for you. Like, I'm so excited for you.
I'm
excited that process though. Like, how was that hard money process? Like, what did you have to do?
So, the power of hard money is the key to hard money is being able to buy what is called a property that is below market. So everybody write that down, below market. And below market essentially means that a property that you can get for a discount. And the types of homes you can get for a discount are homes that need renovations, So for example, like this house, it should be worth 310, but I'm buying it for 150, and I'm buying it for 150 because it needs renovations, it needs some work done. So the key is that with hard money, they will loan you a property as long as the purchase price of the house and the renovations of the house equals 75% of the after repair value. I know we're talking about percentage and math and whatever.
They're writing it down.
But let's say for easy math, a house after it's all fixed up and renovated is worth $100,000. As long as you can buy that house for 50 and maybe it needs $20,000 in renovations, altogether you're at 70, they will loan you money with a hard money lender. Now they do charge interest, they charge, fees. It's not the cheapest money, but if you see a good deal and you got to get it quickly, hard money could be a good way to go. Sometimes working with the bank, it could take up to over a month to close on a house. So, but it depends, because let me tell you what the deal is in Atlanta. So this house, I'm buying it for 150, right? It's 150. It needs about $60,000 of renovations. So altogether, that's 210. But after it's fixed, it will be worth 310. So the difference between what you've paid and what it will be worth afterwards is called equity. So we will have $100,000 of equity afterwards. And after that, I'm going to do what's called a cash out refi, but I don't want to get it too complicated for the people. We're going to just take baby steps for now, and we're going to just talk about just buying a home, period. I recommend everybody save up your money to buy what's called a duplex, which is just 2 units in one building. You live in one, you can rent out the other, and you can let that other person pay your rent.
Thank you. Even I was following you, but you're right. It's a lot of people that may, be listening and just like, wait, hold on, percentage, So that's why it's super important, guys, that even if you're not a real estate agent or you're not even familiar with these terms, to really just soak in all of these influencers and all of these people who are already doing it, soak in that knowledge, because I'm telling you, just listen to a podcast. I've learned so much. Like, that's how I knew about the hard money before. I've never done that as of yet, but I know that there are lenders that will give you that, and then you can actually offer cash when it comes to these properties. You know what I'm saying? Because the banks take longer. So I'm here with you. We're here. Everybody's writing it down. This is great. I love the gems that you are spilling for the people.
Listen, dropping gems.
When you got your first property, your duplex, I think, was it a duplex or did you get
triplex?
Triplex.
3 units. Okay.
So I want you to explain, like, how was that first experience? I know you were probably nervous as hell. Okay, how is it like getting your tenants, picking the property, like giving your offer? Were people offering more money than you? Like, how did that go?
So thankfully, I bought my house before the pandemic. So during the pandemic, there's been nothing but craziness where people are offering more, bidding wars, right? But I bought my house in October of 2019. So that was just a few months before the pandemic. No one had any idea what was going on before then. But what had happened was I was looking around with my realtor, looking for a house to purchase. And we went to a handful of homes, and then we rolled on this one, and it was already fully rented. So there were 3 people who were living there. One person was going to be leaving. So, with the FHA, you would occupy one of these units for a period of time and then move on. So actually what happened was I ended up buying the building with tenants living in it. And a tip that I would give to people that I probably wouldn't do again is I don't think I would buy a building with tenants in it again. Why? Because it actually, unless these tenants are transparent, unless, you can look at these tenants, like, have they been paying rent on time? If you can verify that they're employed, if you can look at their unit, you can tell a lot about a person by the way they keep their apartment. Me included, I'm a little messy, but like in terms of like just how the condition. So after I bought the building, it turned out that there was one tenant who was not paying rent. So I had the seller had said everybody was up to date, she was paying, and then it turned out that she stopped paying. And so if I had to do again, I would screen my own tenants. So now when I get new tenants, what I'll do is I'm going to check your background, do a background check. I'm going to do a credit check. I'm going to make sure that I talk to your employer.
Yes.
I'm going to check your bank statements. I'm going to look at your tax returns. I'm going to look at your W-2, the same way that a mortgage lender would. That's everything I'm looking for. So I can really get an idea of what your financial picture is and whether you can really afford to live here.
And another thing as well with that. So when you did buy the property, they weren't aware that one of the tenants weren't paying already, or were they didn't want to tell you because they wanted you to close that deal?
Well, you know what? They told me that they were getting what's called a one-shot deal. So, if you're behind on rent, you can get a one-shot deal. And then she committed to paying on time. But one thing I'm learning with tenants is you can't always believe people for their word. Like, people are not always going to be honest. So she said she was going to pay on time. She did not. And what was really crazy about this tenant was she's Section 8. I actually do recommend Section 8 tenants. Her portion of the rent was $3. And she never paid her rent on time. And it was just so interesting that her rent was $3 a month. I'm like, sis, okay.
Because you got to do better.
$6 a year and your rent is paid. And, so finally, I told her, I was like, you it's time for you to leave. I don't want to do the eviction process, but if you could just leave nicely so all of us can move on. So she left. Yeah. And when I went into that unit,
I saw it on Instagram. I saw it, girl. I'm so sorry about that.
Oh my goodness. When I tell you holes in the wall, crust on the stove, something leaking from the fridge, toilet hanging off.
We don't even know what this
smelling like, I don't know. And see, ended up costing me $15,000 to renovate that place, get it up and ready for a new tenant to come in there. And that's the only reason why I recommend not buying a building with tenants in it. Because sometimes you might buy a home and the tenants look good and everything looks good, and then it can go left. But if you choose the tenants who are going to move in there and you do a screening process, you can even work with a realtor and do a whole software and just check basic things like, do they have a job? Call their job employer, call their previous landlord is another one, and verify with that landlord, like, how are they as a tenant? I sometimes even meet tenants where they're currently living to interview them, so I can look around and get an idea how you live in.
Gems, guys, some real life gems. Yeah,
how you live in, so I can know how you're gonna be living over at my place. Okay, I do rent to Section 8. Section 8 is really great because there are some tenants. Their full rent is paid by the government. The government will never have an excuse as to why they did not pay their rent. Okay,
and I heard that. The only thing with Section 8 tenants are that they, the Section 8 people come and they make sure, like, you have to have certain things, but that's nothing, right?
Yeah, it's just mostly safety things. They come every year, they come once a year, and they check things like, are the smoke alarms working? I know you heard about the Bronx fire that happened here in the Bronx, and
didn't work.
Yeah, the smoke alarms were not working. So they're really checking for safety hazards. They're making sure that, the drawers aren't sticking out, able to cut somebody or hurt somebody. So that's really the only thing. And it's once a year. It's very easy. The people are in and out and it's fine. But the value of having a good monthly payment. But yeah, so I'm going on a tangent. But yeah, so
I love it.
So yeah, that's really it. I would recommend doing that.
Okay, so another thing. So she just gave you the process literally of how she went about getting her property. One thing you said when you had to do the renovation before we go to the next section, when it comes to saving your money, like, how do you deal with the account? So, for example, I'm sure you didn't expect to walk into that apartment and see holes in the walls.
Mm-hmm.
And so do you have like a certain account that you keep that are just for like emergencies like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So every month that I receive rent, I put actually 5% to the side of the gross rent for repairs and maintenance. I put another 5% to the side for what's called capital expenditures. So that's things like, you know, your boiler, your water heater, your roof. At some point it's going to go out and it's not going to be cheap. So you want to just have money set to the side. And then another 5%, I'll use if I want to use a property manager or something like that. But I just always put at least 15% of the rent to the side just for anything that could potentially happen.
Beautiful. That is a staple answer. Thank you. So everybody just heard, yes, she does keep money aside. So when you are getting into selling properties and you see all this money coming in, do not blow all your cash on trying to look great. You need to put money to the side because there will be emergencies and there will be things that you have to get paid for, and it's not cheap, like she said. I think a boiler goes for about like $8,000 to $10,000, like 7 to 8.
Actually, it's not quite that much. It might be like 3 or 4 for a good boiler,
Okay.
and then like maybe 1 or 2 for a water heater,
Okay.
which isn't crazy, but it, you know, it's kind of like the price of doing business. But for me, it hasn't really been too much of an issue because I just know like this is a part of it. The same way we go to our job every day and we know we got to be there 9 to 5 and do whatever we're doing. I know I have this property and I know I got to just put 15 to the side for X, Y, and Z. And at the end of the day, you know, these tenants are every month they pay rent. They are adding to your net worth. They are adding to the wealth that you're building. Because, you know, even for example, my house, I bought it for $450 2 years ago. Right now, that house is worth $600. And every single month they are paying down. So that $450 now I owe $410, you know, because they are paying down that $450. So the beauty is, for me, they are paying. So now I owe $50,000 less on my mortgage. Not only that, the house has gone up. So now that spread, which we love to call is equity, is growing and growing every month. Where the home is worth more, they're paying more, they're paying down, and you know. So after probably next year, we'll have about $250,000 net worth, and every year it's growing. And it's not just about the wealth that you're building, but it's about the cash flow. You know, every month you get paid maybe $6,000 in rent. The mortgage is $2,000. Expenses are $1,000. You walk away with $2,000, $3,000.
Girl, basically, it's a blessing.
It's such a blessing. Not to mention the tax benefits. You know, you can save money on taxes. You know, when the
Write it off.
There's so many write-offs. I write off my car. I write off my trip to Atlanta. It was a business trip. You can write off so many things because, you know, you have this.
That'll be another topic. We're going to talk about write-offs and everything. How do you do that? Next question I have for you, because you are just giving me so many gems. I'm excited.
Listen.
I'm sweating. I'm hot. You know, it's my first Zoom. I'm just so excited. But so what is something that you've learned? Like, I think you gave the gem about the tenants, but what is something that you learned about the actual field that you didn't know that you feel like most people should know, the actual real estate agent field?
One thing I learned about being a real estate agent will probably be a lot of it is negotiation. You know, a lot of people feel that it's like, oh, you know, the realtor, they just helped me buy a house. But even today, it ended up being that a deal fell through. But my client wanted to buy this house for $870, right? But then they said, hey, we've got another buyer who's offering us $879. But if you come up to $875, maybe we could work out something. And then we're like, no, we're standing strong on our $870. And they're like, come on, if you do $875, we're gonna have a deal. I'm like, all right. So I talked to the client. They're like, all right, $875. And then they call us the next day. They're like, you know what? We wanted to go with the $879 because, you know, we know the lender and we feel like it'll be a better, whatever the case is. But, you know, at the end of the day, what I learned is, you know, you need to stand strong on your number. Negotiation is very much so. It can be manipulation where people are like, oh, I understand what you're going through. And I, you know, but as a realtor, I fight hard for my clients. I make sure that I'm like, hey, we will walk away. We will walk away from the deal. Okay, so either you want to play and you want this shmoney, or we can go. Okay,
like I could just see, like, because I'm in the process. I do want to be a real estate agent. So I'm speaking that by this time. This year, I do want to do that process. But I can just see myself like in a negotiation stance. And I'm just like, you know, kind of probably being a little timid, like, Well, maybe. So I do like that you said, stand firm for your clients because some of these people just be playing. Like they don't even
Mm-hmm.
have a deal of 879. They're just gonna be telling you that so that you could go up. Because I'll be watching the real estate even shows, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
there was a time where there was like a $9 million house, and the real estate agent was trying to give like 6 or 7 million,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just like, what are you doing? Like, it's a $9 million house. Like, why are you lowballing, for your client? So it's like
Is
that.
this listing Tampa or selling Tampa or something?
Yes.
Selling Tampa. She was like, I'm gonna offer 3 and maybe
Oh,
4.
it wasn't even seven. It was three. Man,
Yes. I was like, ma'am.
what are you doing?
Also, like, shout out to Tampa and Selling Sunset and all these like real estate shows now, because it's really just showing, like, opening up a lot of people to the world of real estate and being a realtor. It is a very lucrative job. It is not an easy job by any means, but specifically being a realtor in New York, like the ladies selling these homes, generally most places in the country, your commission is 3%. 3% of whatever the price is. So that's the world. But New York City, we do 1.5%, sometimes 2 or 2.5% of the listing price. And that's because homes are just so much more expensive here.
Yeah.
House in New York is like 800, 900, $1 million. And as a realtor, you're like, cha-ching. But it is a little different. And it was disappointing because for that house, my commission would have been about 15,000 for an $875,000 house. You pay your broker's fees, and other fees, but you probably walk away with about 13 or 12. But yeah, that's on one house, one deal. You make sure you put money to the side for taxes because they always be trying to come.
Yeah.
But then if you are self-employed though, your 12,000, they might say, okay, you owe taxes, but you might say, hey, I had to pay for my car, I had to pay for my flight, I had to pay for my house. And now you can write all these things off and then you have to pay less taxes. But we're going to talk about that.
That is a major gem, y'all. Just write that
Mm-hmm.
down because
Mm-hmm.
she's here for real estate. Okay, we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna talk about write-offs and all that good stuff.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So these real estate shows are literally letting people know like there is a job where you can do it, but I think a lot of people think it's easy and it's not. So make sure that when you're going into this field, again, you are very much fluent in the knowledge and you know that this is what you want to do.
Mm-hmm. And see, the thing is that the way I got my license was first in New York State, at least, you have to take what's called a 75-hour course. So you take this course where they teach you about real estate law. They teach you all of the disclosures and notices that you need to know as a realtor. Because a lot of the job is making sure that you don't lose your license because you broke a law that you didn't even know about.
Yeah.
So they make sure that you know all the real estate laws, like it's called fiduciary loyalty. Oh, she's smart. Fiduciary loyalty. That is a law term, and it just means that you must act in the best interest of your client. They teach you that before you get your real estate license, and so these are just some things that you think about and that you learn about before you get your license.
So excited! My girl said fiduciary. Fiduciary. So okay, so yeah, so you took your courses and everything. So what was a major book? My favorite book, I'm just gonna put that out there. You already know, was Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's what really helped me to get over the hurdle of me knowing what financial wealth and assets and liabilities. What was a book that you enjoyed that was like, okay, yeah, like I like this. It doesn't have to be a real estate book, just like a wealth book.
Yeah. I gotta agree with you on that Rich Dad Poor Dad. When I tell you that book changed my life, like that book is the reason why I bought that first building and have the goal of buying 10 more this year.
Shout out to Robert. Shout out to Robert.
Robert is out here changing the world one book at a time. And that was like, and to be honest, at first when I was reading the book, I was like, do I want to really, like, I was reading it front to back, like cover to cover. And I don't always like finish a book. I'm going to be honest. Like I'll read a book a little bit. I'm like, oh, it's cute. Maybe pick it up later, a month or two later, but I could not put that book down because it was just like, these are mind-blowing things that they do not teach you in school.
And these are things that we literally hear growing up, like, oh, I can't afford that. Oh, work a job that gives you benefits. Like, these are things that I was like, wait, what?
It would really shift in my mindset. Like when I tell you I finished that book, put it down, and I'm like, how do I buy my first house? Like it is time. And And honestly finished the book in like March or April of 2019, and then bought the house in October. So even after that, it still took a few months, but bought that first one and never looked back. I mean, from the cash flow every month to the wealth building every year to the taxes, it's the gift
It's
that
a
keeps on giving.
no-brainer. Yeah, it's a
Ain't
no-brainer.
no brainer.
And you would be surprised, sometimes even when it came to, little sidebar, even when it came to me growing mentally, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And really just shifting my mindset, like you said, and just learning so many things. You can't really force knowledge on people. This is something that you have to make a decision internally, that you want to be a better person, that you want to break these financial barriers. And it's something that you can scream from the mountaintops. You can make YouTube videos, but if the person doesn't digest the information, it's just
Mm-hmm.
like here we are, excited as hell to be like, yo, read the book, read the book. And I have some people that be like, girl, I'm not reading that book. I don't even read. And I just want to throw it in because it's like it's a no-brainer. You need to read this book.
It's so good. Yeah, when I tell you, it changed our lives. It really, really changed our lives. And one thing that I also realized about it is that, like you said, it's a choice. You know, for a lot of people, we've been taught to be employees. We've been taught to find a good job. We've been taught to get our college degree and like find a good opportunity. But we're not taught, entrepreneurship. We're not always taught investing, and we're taught save, and we should definitely save. But after you saved, you need to invest that money, because you can't save yourself to wealth. You cannot. I
Right.
don't believe, like, I mean, it'll take a long time, but you've got to invest your money.
Girl, I love you. You're amazing.
I love you too, boo. Okay,
On
Brick
the same
City.
page.
Brick City. And it's just so inspiring. I think the moment that really shifted my mindset as well was I was on a family cruise, or my
Mhm.
sister's birthday cruise. Was it a thing? I was on a cruise,
I love
okay?
her
And I
cruises.
just remember being on the ship in the pool, hanging out, and then my phone, I get a notification that I got a payment of rent. And I'm like, I'm on a ship in a pool getting a notification for a direct deposit. Can somebody say
And you're literally sipping,
sipping?
chilling.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
amazing. It's amazing.
It has, and this is just one building, imagine just
You get your
buying,
10.
yeah, hitting 10, getting an apartment complex. You can really be, even we went on a little trip to St. Martin with my mom. She turned 65. Shout out to mom. And so we took her on a little, Caribbean trip for her birthday, and just the sense of peace and security you feel when you know that you kind of have these automated deposits happening, and you might be out and you might just do this or do that or go on a trip and spend and whatever, but every month that, like clockwork, you're going to get that deposit for rent, the mortgage will be paid, your building is building in equity, you're becoming more wealthy every month. It's
Well,
truly a
that's
powerful
literally
thing.
aside from your actual real estate job as well, because this is
Mm-hmm.
your property, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
come on, y'all. She's killing it. And I want to know why we're here, because we are going to wrap this up. This was an amazing episode. I'm super excited. Y'all, I hope I saved this video correctly because I will be
Mm-hmm.
pissed. Do you hear me? But
I'm
anyway,
sure we're good. We're good. We're good.
so I want to know what inspired you to go on YouTube, because I literally was with you on your starting journey of YouTube, and literally I go back on and you have 16,000 subscribers. I said,
Mm-hmm.
what? I was like, yes, sis. Like, what inspired you to say, you know what? I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Let me go on YouTube too and get that bag too.
Listen, we do not discriminate for any bags, okay? There is no discrimination here. All of them are welcome, okay? The YouTube bag, the real
Everybody's
estate
bag.
bag. Just give me all the bags. Give us all the bags, period, okay? Because there's bags for all of us, and that's a real gem too. Like, people think it's just for some, but with YouTube, it really happened where I loved making these hair videos. Like I did a tutorial on crochet braids and these travel videos and just random videos. And then when the stimulus started happening, I made one video on it, and that video got so many views because so many people were searching because they wanted information on COVID and the stimulus and when the stimulus checks are coming. So I posted one video that got like a few thousand views, which was the most that I've ever gotten at the time. And I'm like, okay, I posted a second one the next day. That one got a lot of views, and kept posting and posted consistently for about a year. Semi-consistently, sometimes every single day I was kind of coming with hey guys, welcome to the channel. I got your stimmy news today. I'm gonna let you know when the check is coming. And that's really what grew the channel, just consistency. And also I would say niching down and kind of really capitalizing on an opportunity. The opportunity was that everyone wanted to know about this. And I'm like, okay, I think I can get a lot of, I can just generally share. I wanted to know too, I wanted to know about the EIDL and the PPP, business owners out here getting $1 million checks they don't gotta pay back. So I'm like, how can I be a part of the group? And honestly, the PPP and the EIDL is how I was able to pay for the renovations after that tenant, damaged things. But thank God for that, because that also adds to your home's value too, during renovations and things like that.
And it also probably helped you actually research the knowledge for yourself. So imagine you get alerts from CNN or whatever, and then you digest it, you really learn, and you do research, and then you just go tell the people, and boom, now you're on YouTube getting all these. It's just, I like how you said capitalize on what people are looking for. And see, that's what I'm learning as well, because when I first started doing my podcast, I was just picking random, topics. But when I just scroll down my TL and I see what people are talking about, mostly on Facebook, girls are always talking about getting their heart broken. So I was like, okay, let me do an episode on how to get over a heartbreak. And that was one of my top listened episodes.
Yeah.
When the thing happened when the Haitian immigrants were coming over, and that people wanted to know about that. That was another one of my top episodes. So capitalizing on what people aren't talking about is a way that you got your YouTube lit. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for that, gym girl.
Absolutely. And you know what? The thing about it now is that now that I'm kind of, I feel like I've spoken about the stimulus a lot. I still kind of pop videos on there, but I really want to shift the channel more towards financial content, more towards real estate content, even kind of lifestyle, travel as well. Just kind of the brand of, creating a brand that's not necessarily connected to any one thing, but her, you like her, you trust her, and therefore you want to follow.
Love you, girl. The comments are always like, Monica's giving us news. Yes,
and that's the power of video content too. When people watch you on video, they feel more connected to you. They're like, oh, I think I like her. I trust what she's saying. And when that happens, people keep coming back and they refer you to their friends. So, I think the goal, along with the 10 buildings, is to get to maybe 50,000 subscribers. We got about 1 million views now on there. The consistency is not always easy, but like I said, you're capitalizing on what people are looking for. And I think there's a world of people looking for this information. They want to build wealth. They want to learn and not work 35 years before they can retire. I mean, I'm 29. I know you're 26, 27.
Yes, 26.
You're 26. Okay, period. Yen's birthday. We got to figure out what we're going to do for your birthday. But yeah, so, at this time, we've got another 35 years before you're supposed to retire. And I'm just like, who set this up? What kind of ghetto setup is this? I can't imagine a world where I'm spending every day, and when I have little weekends here or there, little weeks to go on vacation, to just be at a desk. And it's okay. And I want to make this clear. There's nothing wrong with having a job at all. I think a job is a great thing. But I do think that people should have more knowledge and openness and an opportunity to explore other ways of living. That's not necessarily just, working. I know my mom was like, get a good job, get a good college degree, but I was like, no, Mom, there's ways out here to make income that isn't attached to going to work every day.
if
you
I,
know.
I tell myself all the time, if I knew what I knew now, like that's why I'm like beating my little sisters' head. They're like
Mhm.
13. I'm trying to make them read the Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yes, get them started now. When I tell you
They
the
have to.
earlier, because time is really the biggest your biggest friend with real estate. You buy a house now for 100,000 and you hold that for maybe a few years. Now it's worth 500,600. You know, imagine your little sisters getting a house now, even if it's like buying a little piece of land for 5,000. You could buy land for $5,000. You know.
I don't stress it enough. Like I just know for a fact that God literally used me to break that mental curse that not
Mm-hmm.
even a curse, but like the way I speak, a lot of people in my family don't speak the same way. So it's like I'm grateful that I was able to basically take that leap, because
Mm-hmm.
like you said, it's not a bad thing having a job. It's not a bad thing that our parents told us to go get a job and, work, but it's just so much more to life. It's so much more freedom that you can have than to just be, depending on a job who can replace you, or you can just be out of a job randomly. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But girl, this is
Mm-hmm.
amazing, amazing. We're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna end it with two special questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I want Monica to give us a fun fact about yourself. I know you said that you do all these amazing things, but what's something that we probably don't know? Like something
Mm.
so funny.
Fun fact. Ooh, fun facts. I think I could like, I don't even really know. I was gonna say something like I think I could like touch my nose with my tongue, but not really.
You can't. How many places have you traveled? That's something I would like to know.
Really? Okay. You know what? I have a goal of 30 countries before 30. We're at 29. So we got one more to go. This year I'm gonna be 30. Lord.
No, that is a blessing, girl. 29 countries. What? That's
Listen,
a
God is good. God is good when I tell you. Okay. He be
that
making
is
a
a
way.
beautiful thing. What was your
Yeah.
favorite country that you went to?
Honestly, my favorite country was Marrakesh. I really love Morocco. Morocco was such a vibe. I really enjoyed Japan. I think Japan is hands down my favorite country. The food, the people, the everything. I grew up Christian, but I experienced, meditation in a Buddhist temple for the first time. And after
Wow.
going to so many countries, I will say with all the religions in the world, it's just about being a good person, being good to your fellow man, fellow neighbor. So, you know, I think that's a big one. So it's like 30 countries before 30. I was gonna say, 50 countries before 50 type of thing. But I think seeing the world has really just opened my mind to just the possibilities
I love it.
to everything. It's so powerful. It's like my favorite thing.
And I like how you said that you experienced so many different religions, even though you are Christian. Just
Mhm.
experiencing it, it just lets you know, just be a good person, be respectful, and treat others. I think the Bible said it, treat others as you wish to be treated. And
Yep.
that's just the biggest gem, I'm sure, of traveling so many places.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, well, y'all, she's about to hit one more country and she's gonna hit her goal 30 before.
Yes. Okay. 34, 30. Like honestly, I feel like 2022 feels like go time. Like I
Go,
am
go,
so
go.
hungry. Like you have no idea. Just actually, okay, because I know you have the hunger too. Okay, the
Super hungry.
hunger
I'm hungry
is
right now.
so deep. Like sometimes it just like overwhelms me. That's why the gym is so good because I will like just release everything
Yes.
on the bike. Listen.
You're gonna be the one that's throwing them shit down like boom.
Just
Oh!
start choking people.
Okay, guys. I hope that you had an amazing time listening to this episode. I'm super excited. I hope you took notes. She said some very, very, very important things. Any last words of advice for beginners? just learning about the craft, learning about the real estate world. Any last words before we exit out for today?
Last words is I'm definitely going to be dropping more content on real estate. So check that out over on my YouTube channel, which is just Monica Soyemi. The second thing is make sure you check out the NACA program. That's NACA. That is an opportunity for you to buy a home with no money down. No origination fees. It's like the best mortgage in the world. So if you are ready to go, check out the NACA program. And then the third thing I would say is read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Okay, change your life. Change your life.
Now those are some 3 great words of advice, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to thank everybody for tuning in to another week of Black Girl from Brick City. I hope that you love this content. I will definitely be bringing you more things like this. I hope the information was helpful to you. Again, please follow my girl. I will have her IG tags and her YouTube information in the description. But thank you so much, sis, for blessing us.
You guys, give it up for Ace. Okay, Brick City. Okay. Like I said, we are here. I'm so proud of everything you're doing, girl. You are killing it. You are in the gym. You are making choices that are good for you. You are saying no to the You are saying, leave that out. No to the stuff.
I'm gonna do a little sleep, but we can say
you are saying no to the nonsense, and you are just going after what you want. So it's inspiring to see, and I'm proud of you.
All right, guys. So until next time, thank you so much, and have a great week. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
I gotta peep through the window. Black girl, gotta watch what I'm into. Black girl, you don't know what I've been through. Dark skin, got 'em